Have you ever been to all 4 Disney World theme parks in one day? It's called the 4 Parks One Day Challenge, and we're here to give you tips on how to conquer it. Well, hello there! I'm Margot Jordan and welcome to All Ears TV. It used to be pretty simple to visit 4 parks in one day, but now with limited park hopping hours, the challenge is going to take some more planning than it used to. Park hopping officially returned to Disney World on January 1st, and there is a lot you need to know about how to complete the 4 Parks One Day Challenge. First, buy the proper ticket. The first tip may seem a little bit simple, but it is the most important one of all. Make sure you purchase the proper ticket so that you're actually able to park hop. You'll want to make sure you have a park hopper ticket, which is a bit of an upcharge from regular 1 park per day tickets. Attempting the challenge without one of these ticket options will fail every time. Next, make a plan ahead of time. Once you've got the proper ticket, it's time to make a game plan. First, you want to decide which parks you want to visit and in which order. This will give you an outline of your day that you can later fill in. Something important you really want to take into consideration is the park hours on the day you want to do the challenge. Also, think about where you want to be at certain points of the day. Do you want to see the castle or Spaceship Earth lit up at night as you walk home? Would you rather start your morning with animals in Disney's Animal Kingdom or Star Wars in Disney's Hollywood Studios? What park do you want to eat dinner in at night? These are all questions to keep in mind while making a schedule. It's also important to note that park hopping now entirely depends on availability and capacity. It's best to plan your 4-park day for a less crowded day so that you have a better chance of getting into each park at the time you want to. You'll probably have a better chance of succeeding if you attempt this on a weekday or during the off-season. Remember that you currently can't park hop until 2 p.m. each day. Make a Disney Park Pass reservation. Alright, so you've got your tickets and you've made an outline of how the day is going to go. Now it's time to make those Disney Park Pass reservations. Even if you want to park hop, you need to make a Disney Park Pass reservation for the first theme park you want to be in that day. You must scan into the theme park that you have a reservation for before attempting to hop to another park. If you don't book a park pass for that day at all, you won't be able to get into your first park, and if you don't make it into your first park, that means you can't visit the second, third, or fourth. This is very important, so double check that those park pass reservations are in place before your trip. Then, get familiar with Disney transportation. The next thing you're gonna want to do is become familiar with Disney transportation. If you are not driving yourself between each park, then make sure you know how to plan to travel. There are many ways to get around, but it really depends on which park you're at. If you're traveling between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, you have a choice between the Disney Skyliner and the Friendship boats. If you're at one of these 2 parks and you're trying to get to Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom, you'll need to rely on the good old-fashioned Disney buses. Currently, the Magic Kingdom monorail loop is open, but the Epcot monorail loop is not open. Usually, you can take the monorail between those parks, but right now you can't travel from park to park on the monorail. It's also important to note when the transportation starts. Based on our experience in the parks, park-to-park bus transportation starts running about 15 minutes before park hopping hours begin, which is at 2 p.m. The Skyliner lines to the theme park typically open 30 minutes before the park's opening time, so if you're using the Skyliner to get to your first park, keep that in mind. Then, set a schedule with specific times. The 4 Parks in One Day Challenge is more strategic than you may think, so a vague schedule of the order you're visiting the parks in is not going to cut it. Before the day of your challenge, double check the park hours because they are changing all the time. Also, be sure to look at the park hopping hours just in case, but they have consistently started at 2 p.m. since park hopping returned. We recommend budgeting about an hour for travel time between the parks. It may seem like a lot, but there is a lot going on in between parks. You'll need to walk to the exit of the park, walk to the transportation of choice, wait on the transportation, travel, unload, then go through security, temperature check, and scan your ticket again. Disney transportation can be unpredictable, especially with health and safety measures in place. If a bus comes around while you're waiting, it can fill up before you even make it on board. Also, the Skyliner and monorail can have delays or even close down due to weather. An hour should be enough time to go between parks, but remember to stay flexible. Next, pick your activities beforehand. Another tip for making the most of your day is to decide your activities you're doing beforehand. Are you going to visit the attraction with the shortest wait time? Will you pick up your favorite snack at each park? Maybe you want a photo in front of each park's icon. Whatever it is that you want to do, making a checklist of must-dos before the challenge day will help you save valuable time. In addition, always check availability before you leave. Like we mentioned before, park hopping completely depends on park availability. Disney World is currently operating at a limited capacity, so if a park is full when you arrive, you will not be allowed in. There is a number to call to check availability, 407-560-5000. Or you can ask a cast member to help you find out if there's availability. We highly recommend checking before you hop to any park. Do not go through all that trouble to get to another park just to be turned away. If you do find that the park you planned on going to next is full, you can totally change your plan around. Even though it's important to have a plan, plans do change all the time. It will be a lot easier to change plans if you check availability before you're already in transit to another park. Here's a few quick tips to keep in mind when park hopping. If you do everything we talked about in this video, you will definitely be in good shape for completing the 4 parks in 1 day challenge. However, there are still a few quick tips that can help this experience go even smoother. If possible, do not go to Epcot first. The park is usually the last one to open, typically at 11 a.m., so you won't be making the most of your time by heading to this park first. Another tip when going to each park, don't go to Animal Kingdom last. The park usually closes the earliest, so you may not make it if something goes awry earlier in the day. We'd recommend this park first because it tends to open earliest, and you could make the most of your day before park hopping hours start. If you're driving in between parks, make sure to factor in the extra time it will take traveling to Magic Kingdom. You'll have to park at the Transportation and Ticket Center and travel over to the park by monorail or ferry boat, which will take significantly longer than just walking to the entrance. Also, for those of you who are driving between parks, note that the parking lot trams are currently not operating. You'll have to factor in some walking time if you're driving and parking yourself. Try to stay on your time schedule as much as possible, but be sure to get yourself a little something in each park. We recommend taking home a souvenir to remember your day. Whether you purchase a small gift in each park or take home all 4 park maps, it will be a nice way to remember that you completed the challenge. Rise of the Resistance is an incredible attraction, and it's natural to want to ride it any chance you get. But we don't suggest trying to cram Rise of the Resistance into your park hopping day. You have no control over what boarding group number you get, and trying to ride it could throw off your entire day. The challenge can be super exciting because you are going into each Disney World park in just 1 day. However, try not to walk the full stretch of every park. If you're trying to get in and out quickly, do attractions or an activity that is near the front of the park. Also, you will exhaust yourself walking the full length of every park. Remember, this challenge is supposed to be fun. Even though you might be on a tight time schedule, make sure that you slow down enough to have some fun. And hey, if you don't make it to all 4 parks, no one is gonna punish you. This is meant to be an enjoyable challenge that adds some extra fun to your Disney World trip. With these tips, you should be able to conquer and demolish the 4 parks in 1 day challenge. If you follow our guide and complete the challenge, reach out to us because we would absolutely love to hear your story. Do you have any more questions about park hopping in Disney World right now? Tell us in the comments. I'm Margot Jordan, and thanks so much for stopping by All Ears TV. Bye!